I don't know why I'm looking there, because I know the camera's there, but for some reason I want to go there. Anyway, I thought I would. I keep going. I don't know. I thought I would show my face today before we get started for something a bit different. How are you all? It's been a bit of a week or two for me. I feel like I'm saying that all the time. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. You can probably see here, I don't know, if you're a regular follower, you'll probably know that I like to set up on my veranda because it has good light. Inside's just too dark for recording. So I probably should go back a little bit. If you're a new follower, I had an accident, if you'd call it that, back in June last year. I think it was a day before or a day after my daughter's birthday. I was knocked out by my dog. I ended up with a severe concussion and in hospital for a couple of days. I still have no recollection of that day. But as a result of that, what I'm trying to get at is I've been doing physiotherapy and hydrotherapy, occupational therapy, speech pathology, cognitive therapy, and a few other things since the accident. I tore all the ligaments down my left side, my right side, sorry, my elbow, my knee, my ankle. I've hurt my hip, and I'm still having a lot of trouble with those areas. My elbow is the worst. The x-rays showed severe inflammation and a torn ligament, but apparently there's nothing they can do about it. So I've been doing therapy. As a result of that, I haven't been able to maintain my yard as well as I normally do. I used to mow it every Friday, but because I haven't been able to physically, I've been trying to cover the neighbours' cars so you can't identify them. Anyway, I haven't been able to physically do it. So you can see here where I've started to mow. The front yard's been okay. I haven't been doing the edges, but the backyard, oh my gosh, it's up to here. No lie, it's up to here. So I've been working on that nearly every day for the last few weeks, and I don't even think I'm halfway through. But yeah, I don't take much notice of the yard. That is a bee. That's a teddy bear bumblebee. My goodness. I haven't seen one of those for years. He's right beside me. Can you hear the buzzing? That's a little teddy bear bumblebee. That's incredibly exciting. Incredibly exciting. Apart from the fact that it's a little bumblebee. If you're unaware, if you're not from around here, I mean, it probably would have been in the news anyway, probably nearly 2 years ago now, we had a varroa mite outbreak in the port of Newcastle, and it spread rapidly across the state pretty much. And as a result, the DPI, or the Department of Primary Industry, euthanized all the bees, all the European bees, all the beehives, it was in stages. If the mite was found to be moving out, they'd just go in and burn the hives. I was supposed to go and help because I'm in the fire brigade, and that was one of the tasks that we were given, to go out and onto properties that were registered with hives for honey production, and it was our job to go and burn them. I couldn't do it. I didn't go. But anyway, it's really exciting to see the bees here. I'm going to turn this around because you don't want to see my big noggin. and show you what I've acquired since we were last on and what I've been up to. Again, I don't know why I keep looking at that part of the camera, because I know the lens is there, but I don't know, there's a big black stripe here on the monitor. Maybe that's what I'm drawn to, I don't know. But anyway, I apologise that I'm not looking at you. So let's flick the screen around and get down to business, hey? Now you can see my workbench. This is where I keep, it's multi-purpose. So I keep some of my tools up here, and for the garden, some tools for the car. I've tried to remove a lot of them today. And I've got some of my sewing supplies up here, my little mini ironing board. Yeah, anyway, I wonder if I can, I want to suck it in so I can show you a bit more, but that seems to be as far as we can go today. So I think I just want to show you, let's start with, oh goodness, what will we start with? I have acquired some new stuff since I've last been on here. Where will I start? This is, oh, the lid's, I've left the lid inside. This is a cookie tin that was my grandmother's. Oh, you can't even see it. Okay. We're gonna, you don't want to see my, as you can probably tell, the phone, what's it called? I can't even think of the word today. The stand that holds my phone that I have borrowed, I'm still borrowing, slid off the table. Anyway, I wanted to show you, some of these are ones that I already had, but the reason I'm showing you this is because I have acquired some more wooden reels in the last couple of weeks, some more Silco, Dewhurst reels. I don't think I showed you this one. This is a new acquirement. Is that even a word? Acquirement? Acquisition? I thought this was pretty cool. Sewing cotton plaits. I mean, I've seen these before, but I don't think I've seen them this old. And that's something I've been thinking about too. I get so excited when I find things that are 50 years old, even, 100 years old here. And some of you that live overseas acquire things that are hundreds of years old and get excited. But I get excited about these things because here in Australia, the older stuff isn't that common. So I suppose only stuff that's as old as European sediment, I guess, really. I mean, we do get older stuff that's been brought in, but it's expensive. So these ones I got yesterday, there's only 4 or 5, I think, to add to my tin. There's 4 because they were a bit expensive yesterday, so I only got 4. And I'm sure I've got a big glass, a crystal bowl that was my grandmother's that has all of hers in it. I can't find it, but anyway, I've got those. I might have to move that out of the way. This is a tape I've had for years, but I thought I'd show you this. It doesn't normally, you would have seen it, it's usually probably half that thickness. Just this cotton tape. But I've had this for years and I came across it the other day and I thought, what can I do with that? Lots of ideas going through my head. And I've got these. I think I've had these, I'm pretty sure these were my grandmother's. They would have, I'm assuming by the look of them, they would have been for her overlocker. But I'm thinking they're probably quite good quality thread. They're Metler. So I reckon they might be good for hand stitching. So I got those out to show you. These are new as well, but they're not wooden reels. So I'm not sure if I will hang on to them or move them on you know, make them available for others to buy. Now I'm just moving a tin that's sitting on the shelf underneath me with a great big needle in it that I've dropped. It fell in the tin. This sort of needle is what we call a crowbar because it's huge. I don't know if you know what a crowbar is. How can I describe a crowbar if you're not Australian? It's a big iron bar, probably 5'6", 5'7" long, maybe a bit longer. And you use it like as a lever mainly. It's got, on one end it's sort of bent. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a big iron bar that you use as a lever to move stuff, I suppose. Crowbar. So we call these crowbars because they're so huge. They're a bit like a crowbar. I also found these in my stash. Don't even know what's in here. I can't remember. I've had for years. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Little buttons, screws, pins. This was in one of the boxes of my nan's. Little pin. And these used to be everywhere at nan's. And some of them had a little domed, sort of spongy pin cushion in them. Can't even read it. Dorcas. They're just pins. Dressmaker's pins, I suppose. There's not many in there these days. Some mother of pearl buttons in there. So yeah, that came up in my little nan stash. Where do I go to now? I should put that somewhere, shouldn't I? Glasses, that's that. Okay, I'll come back to that. This is, you probably don't want to know this. This is just a pile of vintage fabrics I've been working with. Mainly anywhere from the 50s to the 70s. Oh, some of them are up to the 90s in there. Don't know if I showed you these. I've listed these on my destash page because I've got a pair. But isn't that a gorgeous box? Apparently these are from the 50s. I have seen quite a few online, but the ones online are a different colour because they're 8-inch shears. These are only 7. And I can't find any 7-inch ones anywhere. They're Japanese, but let's open it up and have a look. They're in here. And we've got these really nice, I'm really tempted to keep them actually, but like I said, I've got a pair. So these are on my, I didn't even think of that. Got fingerprints all over them. So they do work. I have been, see if I can do it through the screen. Yeah, there we go. The only thing I can see is when I've looked at them online, there was a little bit of cardboard that sat here with a loop. So you just sort of slid the scissors in there. But apart from that, everything's here. So if you're looking for a pair of vintage pinking shears, at the moment, they are on my destash page at Gladys and Maud Unearthed on Instagram. And I'm still very, very tempted to, that's not off, that shouldn't be there, to keep them because they're really cool little vintage pinking shears. Okay, what else have I got here? I know I've shown you these, but I just wanted to go back and have another look and let you know that these still hasn't been much interest in these, which really surprises me because it's beautiful fabric. I have been using some. It's all from the 90s. We've got these beautiful little ditzy florals, a plain, another. They all sort of match in together. Pinks and apricots, beautiful, soft pastel colours. And I've marked, these are all reduced by 50%. Again, they're on my D-stash page, and they're beautiful. They're all these pieces are larger than fat quarters. I had planned to do fat quarters, but the space I had wouldn't allow me, so they're all larger. So you get a really good deal. They come down to about 30 something dollars, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 fat quarters in that one, or larger than fat quarters, and they're 30 something dollars now. So there's 6 of those bundles available at the moment. There's still, I think, 2, maybe 3 of the vintage sheeting bundles left. They're reduced as well. And the only reason they're reduced is because I want to get more money in for the aged care facility. They've got their open day this Friday. I've already presented them with money, with I was going to say check, it's not a check, I transferred it into their account from what I've sold so far. But I'd love to be able to present them with some more money this Friday if possible. So I've marched those things down to try and get a bit more money in for them. Okay, I think I might just try and show you some of my latest finds. I don't know how I can show you on this screen though, because there's not a lot of room. This is a tea towel. Cobb & Co. How cool is that? I've been to Hay. So this one, I love anything Australiana at the moment. So this one really resonates with me, and I went to it wasn't exactly a museum, but the Cobb & Co. I've put a dirty mark on that. So that was one of my latest finds, and my son decided that he would like that one, and I'm just reading it. It's a linen cotton blend, that one, which I thought, I wasn't sure. I bought a tablecloth before Christmas, and it's got a big map of Australia on it and different locations. It's got Uluru, but it's still called Ayers Rock because it's probably printed in the 50s. It's a big linen square one. And he fell in love with it, and he said, I'd love something like that. So I gave it to him. I think he thought it was a lot more expensive than what it was. And he wants to frame it and hang it in his men's shed. So he's asked me for that Cobb & Co. tea towel to add. He wants to frame that one. And then I found this one on the same day. I thought it was another Australian one. It's another big tablecloth. It's got the wildflowers on it, but it's a map of Western Australia. So it's got the swans, and he's asked for that one as well. So I'm more than happy to give these to him. I think it's great that he shows an interest in what I do. So there's a couple more that are going to him to go in his men's shed. So I was quite excited about that. Okay, today, this new one I got today. Stopped in, I had my monthly appointment with my GP, and while I'm waiting for my prescriptions, I usually walk up to the op shop. I can't remember who runs it. It's one of the local churches up there. And I picked up a couple of things, but I saw this hanging on the wall. It's just like a shopping bag, a dilly bag, but look at the fabric. And the lady gave me a discount on the few items I bought. So as a result, I didn't end up paying for this. Someone's made it, and it was for sale for $4. But the fabric is beautiful. I was going to pull it apart for the fabric. It's a linen, probably an upholstery linen by the look of it. But it's just a really nicely made little dilly bag or shopping bag, so I think I'll keep it. I was really happy with that. Now the things that I got today, they're still wet. They have been soaked and washed, but I'll show you. But keep in mind that they're still wet. This doily, So I've been buying things like this with the colours to deconstruct, to put the medallions in kits. But then when I clean them up and press them, I think, oh, I can't pull that apart, unless they're damaged, of course. But I haven't seen one before with a frill on it like this, so I thought that was cute. So that was a new one I got today. It's still very wet, because I soaked them and then hand washed them to try and not damage them, you know. Some of them are a bit delicate. And it's the same. This is another one that I've been looking for to deconstruct, to put the flowers in a kit. But I don't know if I will. I don't know. It just seems a shame to... If they're damaged, I don't mind pulling them apart. But so many people are looking for these flowers. And I started to actually crochet one. Crochet. Make one with a crochet, with a needle, with a hook, and you know what I mean, goodness me. And it just takes so much work for me. Maybe because I've got arthritis, I don't know, but it's so much effort. Then I found this thing. I don't know what it would have been made for. I'm wondering if it was... Because if we look at it, this is the outside. So it's been crocheted from here up to here. But then when we get to this lip here, and this is wet, remember, it's been soaking. The crocheting's reversed. So this is the front of the crocheting, okay? We get here, it's reversed. So this must sit out over something. And then these, but then they're upside down, so I can't make sense of it. If you know what these are, I just can't work it out. I thought they might have been sat in a, as a, you know, around a jam jar, or I don't know. I can't work it out. If I do that, the flowers are upside down. The edging isn't, but the flowers are. Sorry, you guys can't see that. So this is all facing right side out, all of this. But if I put it around a jar like that, this lip is then facing right side out, but then the flowers are upside down. But then if I go like that, the lip's upside down, but the flowers are right side up. But what would be, unless it's a hat for a doll, that's the only other thing I can think of. This then makes the flowers right side up. This one's deteriorating. I don't know if you can see that. Flowers falling apart. So I don't know. I've never seen anything like that. And I got two of them. So I don't know. Don't know what they are. And then I got this cute little doily. I don't often buy crochet doilies these days, but I look for things that can be used in needle books or for pin cushions or for, you know, things like that. So I found that one. And then I found this little sandwich tray cloth, and it's very wet. But I didn't realise how much it's deteriorated. Can you see the green in particular is so worn, it's threadbare, it's coming out. But it's still a cute little piece that might work well in a needle book. Okay, what else have I got? Now I picked this piece up with Kathleen in mind. If you're seeing this, Kathleen, I wondered if this might be something that you could use. It's just a... Got it all tangled up now. It's a piece of linen, lovely piece of linen, not quite like a heavier quality. It's got this bizarre cross stitch section in the centre there, and then, you know, this bit's been worked, and there's like a bow. It's all satin stitch. Up here, get over there. So that goes around in a ring, There's dots here. I don't know if they're supposed to be like colonial knots or something. And then there's a ring around it, which makes me think maybe it's a cushion. But what on earth is the centre? I cannot make that out. And the tag on it just said a challenge. So anyway, I picked that fabric up thinking that that might be something that Kathleen may like. If that's something you think you can use, I will send that off to you along with the, what was it you asked for? The flour sack. But the last video I did, Kathleen, there was something else you were interested in. I haven't been able to establish yet what that was. So I need to talk to you about that. I haven't done that yet, I'm sorry. For those of you who may be interested where I've been working on, one of my son's mates brought his car around. I've been working on that for, I timed it, 32 hours it took me to get his car done. And then I spent time working on my son's car with him on the weekend. We did some, I suppose you'd call it panel beating on his, and we resprayed some of the badges and things, because he doesn't like them to be chrome, he likes them to be matte black. So every now and then we have to plastic dip them and whatnot. That's okay. So I helped him with that, and I've been working in my yard, and I've still been doing physio and hydrotherapy and whatnot. So these are new. There's only three of these, I suppose you'd call them placemats. They all are hand worked, but I thought these would be good for a lot of things. I've got in mind at the moment, there's some necklaces that I want to start making, and they are inspired by a very famous textile artist, and I don't remember her name. I knew I should have written it down. This is another new one. It's I don't know, it's larger than a placemat. I've lost my words today. I know what it's called, but I can't remember. I don't know if it's very pastel or quite faded. I'm guessing faded because look at the edge. She's been loved, this one. But that's okay. I like that. Don't know if you can tell. I seem to be developing a sore throat as I'm speaking to you. Okay, this is another new one. I don't think I've shown you guys these, and I apologise sincerely if I have. I'm pretty sure I haven't. And if I do show you anything that I have shown you again, I apologise. That is not a dirty mark. That is a bit of wool. I've been stuffing my necklace with wool, natural fibre. So yeah, that's another new one. Very pretty. And I think I mention it every time. Every time I get lovely pieces like this, I find it, I just can't cut into them. I find it so difficult. I look at them and pet them and stroke them. And this is another new one. There's some marks on that one. I don't know what that green is. That might have to have another wash. Don't know if that was there before or not now. These are new ones. Some napkins. And they've just got the corner. Of course, they're all hand stitched. So I've got a set of those. I can't remember if I've shown you these or not. Some hankies. Sometimes I get these for the needle books to make pockets. Oh goodness me. What's this one? This is a linen one. I think I've shown you this one because I remember when I opened it up, I was surprised to see that it's got a name in filet lace. Jan. My mother thinks it's January the month, but I think it's someone's name. And we've got this. I think I might have shown you this one too. Some of these are new, some aren't. Can't remember if I've shown you that one. I've been soaking them, see. Little Australiana one. I think I've shown you this one. I'm surprised my son hasn't claimed that one. This one's very pretty. It's all pulled thread work, and I think I've shown you this one too. I don't know what I've done with all the new ones. A couple of those are new ones. This little one. So those ones. This green piece is interesting. I think this was the only thing I bought in this shop that day. And it was, I need to try and show you what it was like when I picked it up. So it was rolled up like this. It was a lot tighter though. It looked a lot smaller and tightly wound, and it had an elastic band around it. And I thought, oh, that's a nice vintage piece of cotton. I'll grab that. It was a couple of bucks, I think. When I got it home, it's silk. It's 100% silk. It's, from my research, it's 1950s. It's absolutely beautiful. And there's nearly 4 meters. Look at that. It's light. It's such a beautiful, beautiful fabric. It's not my colour, but I am tempted to make myself a top out of it. It's beautiful. So that's another one new one I got. This one I only got today. Look at this. It's stunning. It's a tablecloth. It looks like it has never been used. It's absolutely exquisite. It's in perfect condition. Look at that. I don't know how else to. It's a little, not quite a square. It's almost a no, it's, when you hold it up, it looks like a square. But it's absolutely gorgeous. The quality of the fabric, it's that, let me think. I can't remember the name. It's cotton, but it's sort of, it's not bark cloth, but it's got a similar texture. And I believe it's most likely from the 50s as well. It's one of those sort of ones that used to be big for the caravans. I should have been expecting that one. They come down every day around the same time. Okay, got some more of these the other day. Napkins, these are good for the needle books and whatnot. What's this one the same? Yep, number 3. And then these ones are a bit different. So these ones are cotton, these ones are linen. Might only be one of them. No, there's 2 of that one. So they're new ones. I think this is a new one. Pretty little sandwich cloth. Maybe not. Maybe I've shown you that one. Again, apologies if I have. I don't think I've shown you this one. Apologies for my neighbours that are deciding it's time to swear. I'm having terrible trouble with them lately. I've got a feeling I might have shown you these too. Again, these are good for the needle books. Okay, something else I know I haven't shown you. I was quite happy with this one. It's very loved. It has been worn a lot. But it's a bark cloth apron, you know, like just the half tie around the waist. I wish I could get this shot in better. 2 pockets at the front. It's obviously homemade, of course. They nearly always are. But I finally found a bark cloth one, so I was happy with that. And I actually wonder if a lot of these have come from the same house, because this was with it as well, this linen tea towel. Isn't that pretty? So I got that one. It's been crocheted on the edge. It's quite old. It's heavy. I reckon it's at least 70s, maybe a bit older. So that one. This one's funny. It's not funny. Oh, I got this with the silk, that's right, the green silk. It's just a cute little, again, I use these in the needlebooks, but I don't know if you see that marker there. I've soaked this a couple of times. It's like it's been stamped with ink, actually. It's fading, but I can't quite get that one out. I've got two of these, the crinoline ladies. The other one's finer. It's in the needle book in here. Here we go. I didn't think I could reach it. Here she is. Look at this one. I like her. I tried to copy this. I don't know what I did, but mine did not look like that when I'd finished crocheting. So I'm pretty sure this is the same pattern. I've searched the internet and I can't find anything like it. So I think whoever's done these, it's her own pattern. So I've been trying to replicate those. Okay, this is another new one. This one is, I thought it was machine stitched. It's not, it's hand stitched. Wow. So another hand stitched. You can see that stain stands out again. I thought I got that out. Gonna have to go for another soak and then out in the sun. That's a beautiful, beautifully embroidered one. Then I got this. This was really exciting. This still had the label on it and I forgot to take it off when I soaked it, didn't I? So, I mean, it didn't really need soaking. It just had yellow in where it had been folded. It's been stored for goodness knows how long. Let's see, I can see yellowing on that again now. So I got this whole tablecloth. Apparently it's never been used. Square tablecloth. And it had 4 matching napkins. And look, I can see this through the monitor. I couldn't see it before. I've soaked this one, but I haven't soaked these ones. Look at the difference in the colour. So I probably should soak them all, shouldn't I? So that was a good find. I was really excited about that one. All the birds are coming. This one's a bit unusual. It's a linen. It's got these lovely hand embroidered sections in the corner, but see, it's been overlocked and it is so wobbly. The edges sort of go dip, then yeah, it's quite interesting. So we've got pink in 2 corners and it's got holes in it as well, so this might be a salvage job, this one. And it's got the yellow in the other 2 corners, but it's beautifully stitched. It's got some stains I can't get out, so that might be a salvage job. That's a newie. Another fingertip towel. There's some beautiful, the lights, I come out here for the light and clouds have come over. It's got the Italian, oh no, yes it is, Italian hem stitch down here, all done by hand. I love this. Can't remember the name, Huck. Can't remember the name of that fabric. Huck something, Huck. Here's another one. It just says retro tea towel. I think this one's a bit older than retro. Another fingertip towel. It's hand embroidered. And then I found this beautiful, another one of those ones that remind me of the caravans in the 50s. Got beautiful flowers on it. Look at that. One of those ones. This one's faded quite a bit. It's obviously been loved. But that's a new find, that one. And then this one, I love this one. The colours are absolutely exquisite. I think so. And it's that Beautiful, like that first red one I showed you, that beautiful textured fabric that's a bit like bark cloth but not bark cloth. But look at the colours and the patterns, look at that lacy edge. It's beautiful. This one's in much better condition too. Oh, look at that. I love that one. So I don't know, that might actually go into my personal collection, that one. It's so pretty. Oh, and then these. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Hang on. I don't know how I can show it to you. It's got these lace panels that are sort of, they're cotton. It's got it all around the edge. This woven cotton lace, and then it's got these inserts. And then the other ones, the other inserts, look at this. How can I show you clearly? Where's a corner? So these are actually hand embroidered. It's all hand stitched on this beautiful, these bits are linen. These bits around the outside, the opaque bits. And then, I don't know what this sheer fabric is, but look at that. That is all hand embroidered. And see how this is all padded in here. It's absolutely exquisite. And then the centre of the flowers is pulled thread work. Can you see? It's really hard to show in this light. Padded satin stitch. There's applique, there's shadow work. See the leaves? It's got this sheer fabric on the top, and they've actually stitched, it's like a what's the stitch called? Not cross stitch, similar sort of thing in the back to do the shadow. Can you see the zigzaggy cross stitchy? I can't remember the name of it. It won't focus, you rotten thing. That's the back of the work. It's absolutely stunning, this tablecloth. So that's another newbie. And then this last one, oh, I think I love it even more. I don't know, they're beautiful. They're both absolutely stunning. This again, this is all linen, this yellow. Look at that's like an Italian hem stitch, but it's a really fancy one. It's worked differently. This linen, this sheer is linen. And then it's got all this, oh, it's just exquisite. Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this one. It's just a square, all hand worked. Where's a corner? Let's look at the back. Look at that. That's the back of the work. It's absolutely stunning. I don't think I can part with this one or cut it up. See this though? This makes me cranky. They put those tags in them. You know, the plastic click, and look, it damages, it tears the bloody, that really frustrates me because it was in immaculate condition until they did that. So that's another newbie which I just absolutely, I love that one. Okay, what can I show you now? I'm just going to grab a drink, guys, excuse me. Okay, let's go back to, I want to show you this. I've got this listed on my Instagram for sale. It's a vintage box of crochet cotton. There's 10 balls in here. They're not all the same brand though. I think when I looked at this is 1970s. The Loot Nigger. It's Loot Nigger. Clever Country. Look at that. But, as I said, they're not all the same brand. So we've got Coats Crochet Cotton, which Coats is a really great brand, as you'd know. Mercer Crochet Cotton, 40 weight, and this is a red. Don't know if you can see that clearly. A red one. Then we've got this beautiful, this is a Clever Country one. It's the same Pearl 8, this one. This beautiful variegated vintage orange. Now I use these for a lot of things, but one of the things I use them for is when I'm doing these aren't great examples out here, when I'm doing the needle book covers. So this one's got, I'm using an ecru beige sort of colour for this one on the linen. And then I've got, again, these aren't great samples. This is a variegated red one I'm using on this one. I use these on so many things. I use them in the needle books. I use them to do needle lace. I use them for crocheting. This is another variegated, an orange. And these are beautiful. They're beautifully soft and silky, but they're not springy. So if you want to stitch with them, they're this lovely cotton. This one's a bit different because it's mercerized a bit differently. The Coats, it's a bit tighter the way it's mercerized. So, but they still work pretty much the same. If you were to crochet with the Coats, it's a bit more. It's not as, it doesn't drape the same, I suppose. Then we've got this beautiful variegated lemon in the Clever Country. And then there's another Coats in this beautiful, look at that. The green. Would you call that a mint green? So that's another Coats mercerized. So that's a 40 weight, and this one's a 20. So this one seems to be mercerized a little bit tighter. There's not much difference, but they're all cotton, 100% cotton. And we've got, hey, don't yell at people, darling, please. Go and lay down. Then we've got this lovely, I suppose, lemon, vintage lemon in the Coats, and that's another 20. Then we've got this pretty, beautiful vintage variegated green in the Clever Country. These ones are just so soft. Then we've got this pretty, like a baby blue, I don't know what you'd call it, pretty pale blue in the Clever Country, nice and soft. And I tried to put a mixture of colours, see, because these pretty much came with all one colour. So I've tried to mix it up so you've got a variety of colours. Another Clever Country. This is sort of a soft, what do you call it, a peach or an apricot? But it's very pretty. None of these have been used. They're all full balls, haven't been touched. And then this beautiful lilac-y, lavendery colour. So they're on my D-Stash page, Gladys and Maud Unearthed on Instagram, and that whole box is $40, so it works out at $4 a ball, and there's only one. So if you're interested in that, it's up there. It's waiting for someone to give it a new home. I've already got a box full. Not a box like this. I've got a crate full. So this is one that I need to de-stash. And the vintage box comes with it. I don't know who put these V's on it. I didn't do that. So that one is available. Okay. Oh, I'll show you another couple of things I bought for myself. You're probably not interested, but I bought this scarf today. It's rainbow. It's really cute. I like scarves in winter, so I just thought I'd show you that. I don't think I've shown you these. I bought myself a pair of shoes. I don't buy shoes anymore because they're so expensive. And I very rarely wear heels, but I have found on the 1 or 2 occasions a year that I go out to a lovely function, I don't have a nice pair of shoes. So I got these. Look at that. They're a little bit old lady with that bow on them. It's grosgrain. But they're very pretty. Lovely little... Look how that heel is. The leather is exquisite. And they were... Let me look. The only reason I bought them was I needed a nice pair of dress shoes. Look at this. $169 down to $10. So they came home with me. I was very happy with that buy. So next time my son wants to take me out to dinner, I've got a nice suit now, a nice linen suit, and I'll be able to wear a nice pair of shoes instead of a pair of thongs like I did last time. Okay, this is another thing I bought today. I've started making some necklaces. And as I mentioned, they are very heavily inspired by, I can't remember the artist's name. Isn't that dreadful? So I've just been making these to start with, and you sort of just make these cute little puffy things, and you can't even see them, goodness me, and sort of crochet them into a necklace, you know, like this. So I've been doing those, vintage velvet. Look at that one. They're all vintage fabrics that I'm using. Of course, I'm going to add colours. I've got pinks in there, I've got greens, I've got all sorts of things. But I've been looking for some beads to add to them, especially to give them a bit of weight. And I know these aren't the correct colours for this, but I found this today for a couple of dollars, and they're all glass beads. So I thought I could deconstruct that and use that for the necklaces. I'm also going to use some of those cross-stitch things for those necklaces, and I bought these for my son because he likes to wear cufflinks when he goes to a formal do. Aren't they beautiful? Vintage. He's got a similar pair that are like the rainbow colour, and this place today had a box full in all different colours. If I had more money I would have bought them all, but I love these. Look at that. My dad had a pair in the rainbow ones, so that's something else I got today. My son seems to score well out of these little outings on occasion. So what else have I been up to? I've been doing the necklaces. I've been doing some more. So I bought some vintage Suffolk puffs from Beck Brennan from Sobe Curated, and I haven't been into the new shop yet, and one of the main reasons is because I know when I go in there I'm going to spend money I don't have, and it scares me because she's got just the most beautiful textiles and a huge range of beautiful vintage, not just textile, just beautiful stuff. So I haven't been in there. I did go into the old store and bought some of these vintage yo-yos. That was one of my birthday gifts to myself. But because I'm trying to do more kids, so I'm putting together, if you're new again, I've done some needlebook kits that are listed in my Made It store, and most of those are sold. So I've got to get some more of those put together. There's only a couple left. And I've decided, I know I've spoke to you guys before about this. I had some requests to teach the textile pinch pots with the vintage. And I came out and said, I'm not going to do that because that's someone else's idea. But I actually made some 2 or 3 years ago. If you go all the way back through my Instagram, you'll see them. So they're certainly not new. And the more I search, the more people I'm finding that are doing them, making them, and putting together kits. So I've got all the stuff here. I can do kits for the pinch pots. So I thought I'm going to do some kits. And so I've been doing some Suffolk puffs out of vintage textiles that I can put in the kits. That's a Sanderson, that one. Because I don't want to part with my vintage ones I bought from Beck. So I'm making some from vintage fabrics. And you can see here I've got 2 piles cut out, ready to go. Every night I stitch a few more. So that's something else I've been up to. Suffolk puffs, the necklaces, what's in here? These are bits for the necklaces. Some vintage velvet ribbon that I'm stitching. There's one of those in there. There's one that I've stitched for the necklace. So I've got some bits of vintage ribbon ready to go. I've got a beautiful, I haven't cut it yet, I've got a beautiful bit of silk velvet ribbon in there, and it's a gold colour. Oh, it's so pretty. I just haven't cut it yet because it's just gorgeous. Got those ready to go, and then I've got bits of vintage fabrics cut and ready to be stitched together for these necklaces. And I've started collecting, these are for the kits, the crocheted bits, but I've started collecting bits of these linens that I can stitch into necklace bits. So I could stitch that, cut that off there, stitch that into one. This bit can go into one somehow, maybe that way. That could make another part of a necklace. Maybe this one. I thought this. Goodness me. So I thought maybe I could rescue, I don't know, there's a few holes in this. Maybe I could rescue a bit of this for a bit of a necklace. But this bit I thought I could stitch in along the bottom as a bit of a trim, if that makes sense. So I've got those ready. I've got to cut up some of the embroidered bits for the necklaces. I'm going to do some of the rectangle ones, and I think I'll do some round ones. I've been doing that. And then I've been doing, I've got little piles of little hexagons cut out here. Vintage textiles again. I've got enough in each pile to do, I think, 2 flowers in different colours. And then I've got the little hexagons. So I've been doing little vintage flowers to put in the pinch pot kits. So that's something else I've been doing when I haven't been in the yard or working on the cars. Other people's cars, mind you, not mine. I don't have one at the moment. Been doing that. That's more vintage textiles ready to go for different projects. Some other hexagons for kits. Either a hexagon or these are bigger, so I don't know about these. Started doing these for the needle books, and then I did one of these. This was one of them. I can see I've undone it. and I put a ring of white around it and then added another one, and I was going to cut it into a needlebook, but I didn't like it because when I had it, didn't look right. When I had a look online, I didn't realise you do your centre medallion and then your row of colour, and then you're supposed to do another row of colour before you put your white, and it just looked khaki, so I've undone it. So that's something else I've been doing. There's one more box here that is going to collapse when I pull it out because I put all those textiles on it, and there they go, falling over. Okay, so these are some vintage ribbons I've got out to do some of the necklaces. That crinkle must sound awful, I apologise. Here's one that I've done. So it's one of those ribbons for a pendant on the necklace. I got this to deconstruct, to put in kits, I think, for the pinch pots. I might do a couple in the pinch pots. Look at that. Isn't it awesome? Like Kate in the Nest uses them. She had one she did. So I found one of these. I think it's amazing. I'm so over the moon that I found one. It's a bit sad, it's a bit damaged, which is great because then I don't feel bad deconstructing it, or what's the word, harvesting. But whoever made it just did this to stuff it. So they haven't, you can see, I don't know if you can see, they've stuffed it with cotton wool, and then they've just tacked a bit of thread, sewing thread, in a zigzag to hold the wool in. So of course it's fallen out. This one's hardly got any in it, look. I haven't washed these either. This is just how they've come. So that's all that's left in this little swan. So what I thought I would do, I'm trying to, where is it? I'm trying to crochet a bottom in it to hold it all together, to hold that stuffing in there. So once that's done, in theory I can harvest this and then add some to a kit. That's my plan anyway. So I've got that, and then I've got, look at this, some of these crocheted flowers. So this is another one I'm harvesting. I've got a string of them. So I've been very carefully, I probably should show you what I've been doing, I suppose, so it makes sense. Just going to have another drink, guys. So what I've been doing, this one has actually been pressed and steamed. It doesn't look like it, but it has. It's supposed to be a pansy, but I haven't seen pansies before with these points, but they're very cute, and I think they'd look great on the pinch pots, at least one, you know, or a needlebook or whatever. This one hasn't been pressed or steamed, so they're little roly-poly. They just need to be steamed out. So what I've been doing, very, very carefully now, I have to put my glasses on for this. Oh, and they're filthy. Please bear with me for a moment while I clean them with my dress, because I don't have my proper glasses cleaner thingamajigamy cloth and spray out here. Okay. So what I've been doing with these is very carefully getting something like my unpicker and trying to get about the center of this. Might be better to use scissors. This is really tricky, guys. So try and get the center, and I don't really want to go all the way through. I just want to cut one thread, and that's why the unpick is a bit better. Doesn't always work. Okay, now this is where it gets tricky. What I want to do is get that thread. Now I have to pull it out. There's a tail there, but if I pull that, it's just going to tighten it. It's going to be really hard to see on this screen because it won't focus. Talking about that, I'm getting a new phone. I'm so excited. It's secondhand, and it's going to be gifted to me, so I'm over the moon about that. This phone actually works that I'm getting gifted, if it's still in one piece by the time I get it. So I'm undoing that loop. So what I'm doing now is essentially undoing what's been crocheted, and I'm going to very, very gently pull this. There's one loop, up the second loop. Now here, I don't know if you can see this. This loop here, I don't want to pull that out because that's connected to the flower. So what they've done is crocheted the flowers and then done chain stitch and then crocheted the next flower. So this loop is actually holding this flower together. So what I want to do is try and enlarge that loop slightly. Can you see that? And then what I need to do is try and thread this tail through that loop. There we go. And I've lost it. Thread the tail through the loop. Oh, you sod. Get in there. I apologise if I'm going off screen. I have to look at it instead of through the monitor because I can't see through it. There we go. Through the loop and pull it taut. So now that should not come unravelled, but then I've got to try and get, I think a crochet hook would be the best way to do it. And I'm pretty sure I've got one in here actually. That one's not small enough. I'm sure I had a smaller one. No, not in that box. So what I want to do now is try and... Can you see how, again, it's hard to see and I apologise. There's sort of a... I don't know if that helps. See how that sort of sticks up here? That point there, we want to try and blend that in. So what I want to try, and I want to end that tail off. I don't want to just cut it off. If I cut that off, that's going to come unravelled. So what I want to try and do is, if I weave that up in this direction around the flower, that will pull that point down in there and make a nice soft finish. This hook's too fat. I need that smaller one that I don't know where it is. So what I'm doing, where did I put that hook? I had it earlier today when I was setting this video up. I came across it and thought, oh, that's going to be handy. Oh, it might be in here. Hang on, bear with me. I think it's in with the cotton reels. I think that's where I came across it. I hadn't planned on showing you this, so I'm not exactly prepared, I apologise. But if I can find this hook, I can see it, it's in the bottom of the tin. I can see it. Okay, here it is. I found the hook. Now just let me put these reels away. Okay. So what we want to do, where did I put the damn flower now? Here it is. That's not the one I had. What did I do with it? I'm going silly. So I don't know if you've seen these vintage hooks. I've been buying them when I see them. This one's a bit rusty, but if you haven't seen them before, most of you would have. You pull the end off and stick it on for your handle. So I don't think this is the flower that I had. Anyway, we'll use this one because it'll work. I don't know what I've done with it. Huh. Don't know, guys. That might be it. That looks a bit more familiar. Okay. So we've got that point there. What we want to do, the way the flower's been crocheted, there's a, can you see? And again, it's not going to show up very well in this monitor, I don't think, because it won't focus. But there's actually, it looks like a chain stitch edge that runs around here. So what we want to do is come up through the back of one of that first chain. If I can get the needle in the middle of it. There we go. And then pull that tail through. There we go. Pull that firmly and then go into the next chain. Come up from the back of it. And then pull the tail through. Okay, pull it firmly and then do the next chain loop thingamajigamy there, up through the center from the back, pull the tail through, and I'm just going to keep doing that all the way around. As far as I can. I feel like I'm going cross-eyed looking through this stand. I'm one eye's looking through the monitor and one eye's not. Okay. And I'm just pulling it firmly enough that it's all sort of blending in seamlessly. I'm not pulling it that tight that it's gathering it, but I'm not leaving it loose either. That one's a bit loose. There we go. So I'll keep going as far as I can. Each individual little, oh, I can't get into that one. There we go. So I do know that some people think my kits are a bit expensive. But you've got to remember, I mean, most of you are fantastic, and I thank you so very, very much. And most of you understand what you go through, but there's probably 0.5% of people that say, oh, that's too expensive. Why does she charge that much? I can't see the value in that, which is fine. You know, if those people can't see the value, it's not for them. So you can see now, that's all, there's still a little bit of a tail there, but that's all blended in, finished off nicely. It's not going to come unravelled. So this is one of the things I do. When I do the kits, I've got to search for the textiles, okay? Yes or no, they're not as old as some people's textiles. I know Beck, for example, sources much older textiles. I don't have the capability, I suppose the finances at the moment to do that. I think my oldest fabrics are probably 100 years old, but my fabrics and textiles range from about 100, 120 years old up to the newest is 20 years old. But I have to source the textiles. I have to pay for postage or I have to pay for fuel to collect them. And again, most of you know this. But for those of you who don't, I just want to try and explain what goes into these kits and when I make needle books and whatnot to sell. And again, the last few I've sold, the lovely, lovely, incredibly generous person who bought the things I've made offered me a hell of a lot more money than what I was asking for them, which is so kind and so nice. But that person could see the value in what I've done, which is great. But anyway, we source the textiles. We then have to obtain them, whether we drive, postage, whatever. So that cost gets added to the cost of the textiles, lace, fabric. Then I bring them home, I sort through them, I soak nearly everything, I hand wash everything, I press them, I starch them, colour coordinate them, find textiles that match together well. In the case of the pinch pots, the needle books, I have to find, fabric for the cover. Okay, this is an example. So this is vintage Sanderson linen. And then I've got to find the wadding. I always add the wadding. I always add some thread. It's all vintage. I never use anything new except for the neon. If I add a neon strand cotton, these are new. So sometimes I'll add a neon, and sometimes I add a little label that says handmade. They're new as well. Sometimes I'll add a little zipper recycled. So then I, work out, but things like this, like I showed you, if I use reclaimed crochet, for example, if we're going to use the flowers, I go to the trouble of, separating them, finding the tail, knotting them off so they won't come unraveled, and then weaving them through so it's an individual flower that you can stitch on whatever you're making and it shouldn't come undone. That's just an example. I go to the trouble of doing that instead of just cutting it off and sending you something like that. That if you handle it a bit, it's going to come unraveled. I'm just trying to think, what do I do? These as well, for example, I'm making these little hexagon flowers to add to the kits. That takes time. I've got to, cut them out. Here's some I've used that I've got ready to do. I've got to stitch them onto the cardboard, then I press them, and I usually won't send you the flower with the cardboard in it because at the moment I can't afford to keep buying the cardboard, so I try and reuse it. So if you get a flower, I'll usually starch it, press it. I might tack these together so they don't come undone after I've taken the paper out, but you'll receive the flower without the cardboard in it most of the time in your kit. The pinch pots, I'm thinking, instead of just giving you a piece of wool to work out how to make the vessel yourself, I think I will cut out the circle. And this might not be for everyone. Okay, you might want a piece of square wool. That's okay. But I'm going to cut out the size for the pinch pots, cut the pleats in it, and have it ready for you. All you have to do is stitch it together. Okay. So I'm doing all the hard work. All you have to do is stitch the vessel together and add all your decoration. So if you look at the kits and say, that's a bit expensive, that's more expensive than so-and-so's, please remember that I'm preparing the wool, I'm cutting out the circle for you so you don't have to go and find a template and cut it out yourself. I'm going to cut in the pleats, So again, you don't have to measure it and work it all out. And you, Rachael from Roxy, the Roxy sisters, she developed a technique to cut them out. The first way she did it was quite complicated, and then she realised she could do it a lot more easy. So I'm sort of using half and half. I think there's a lot of value in the way she originally worked it out with all the measuring and the mathematics and that. So I'm going to do that for the kids. Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So that's why they might be a bit more expensive than someone else's kit. And, you know, I'm not saying you have to buy my kits, obviously, but I'm trying to go that little bit extra to give you more value so you don't have to stress about trying to work out how to construct it, if that makes sense. And again, it's up to you. You don't have to buy mine. You can buy someone else's kit, but I'm just trying to make it a little bit easier. Gee, the birds are noisy this afternoon. So I haven't forgotten you guys. I apologise that it's been so long that I've been on here. Life's just been throwing stuff at me I hadn't planned, I guess. Tomorrow I've got physiotherapy, hydrotherapy. One of my friends I haven't seen, I met up with a couple of weeks ago, but haven't seen her for years. She's taking me out for lunch tomorrow, which will be, I'm getting really excited about. And then after lunch, I have another appointment with the specialist from the hydrotherapy clinic, which I'm not looking forward to. I don't get along with this specialist very well. Friday, I'm going up to the aged care facility for their open day, and I'll be helping with craft, art therapy classes. And my niece will have her coffee van up there. I thought I was taking Miss Willow for therapy, but I was told today she can't go this time. Mixed messages, but that's okay. Yeah, so I haven't forgotten you guys. I haven't forgotten the videos. I haven't forgotten the sewing group that I thought we could establish. I have spoken about it before. I had an idea to start an online sewing group where we could all meet online once a week and stitch together. In my mind, I thought it would be a bit like a Zoom meeting. If you've seen Zoom, you'd know what I mean. So we can all see each other, we can all chat together, we can all share what we're doing. But in theory, anyone from anywhere on the globe should be able to join us. I'm trying to set that up so it will be free. You won't have to pay to join, you won't have to pay a membership, but you will have to download an app, from my understanding, to join in. And at this stage it looks like, fiddlesticks, I can't remember the name of it. The app. I'll have to add it in the description. And I say that every time. I'll add this in the description, I'll add that, and I forget. But I will. There's an app that it looks like we're going to use. Discord, I think it's called. Discord. So that should enable us to all meet together. I know I said I was going to put on my Instagram, not my D-Stash Instagram, what I call my everyday Instagram that I haven't uploaded to for weeks. I used to do at least one a day. But, oh, those birds today, goodness me. The plan is to upload some names for the group that we can vote on, or you can contribute another name. If you've got an idea for a name we can call the group, I'd love to hear it. But I thought I'd write a list up on my page and you can have a look. And I know I said a week or so ago I was going to do that and I haven't done it. I apologise, but I will. It's taking a bit longer to get this together than I had hoped. But please bear with me. It's going to happen. We're all going to get together. We're all going to, if that's what you want to do, it's going to happen. Kathleen, if you're here or if you're watching this later, I need to communicate with you. I'm sorry I haven't. I know you said you were going away with your daughter again. I'm not sure if that's happening yet or not, but I just want to clarify the textiles with you. The flour sacks. The linen from the last video, there's something you were interested in. I haven't been able to clarify that. And if that new one I got's any good to you, I'll send you that. What else? Goodness me. I'm just thinking, guys, I'm sorry. I've got 2 lovely burns on my arm where I reached over the iron the other day. They're a bit sore. I borrowed my dad's brush cutter a couple of days ago, and it bites. It's got, I rang my son to speak to him about it and said, why is Pop's brush cutter doing this to me? And he said, oh, it's the cheap cord he uses. So what happens in Dad's brush cutter, you wind the nylon cord on, and this one's only got one exit point for the cord. Mine, that's electric and very inconvenient, has 2. But the way Dad's goes, you wind the nylon on, and you're supposed to tap on the button, and it should release more cord. That hasn't been working. I think it's because he uses this cheap cord, so it all jams into itself. So every time it runs out, I've got to stop the whippersnipper, pull the whole head off, pull it out from the jam, and then rethread it. But what happens, where that bit is that comes out of the hole, so there's a hole where the cord comes off the reel, and when you turn it on, where the shield is, there's a little blade, if you can call it that. It's blunt as buggery, and when the nylon hits it, it sort of trims it to the right side so it can fit inside the shield, right, the protective shield, and you can go and do your whip snipping. But where it comes out of the head, where the reel is, this cord is bending and fatiguing, and it's not supposed to do that. So when I start it up, that bit that I've pulled out to restart, there's a bit there just before or after where that blade is that has fatigued. So as soon as you start it up again, instead of it just cutting off, it kicks back and it gets you. So that bit flies off. I've got 2 lacerations on my legs. I've got a tiny one on my hand. I had ended up with one on my face. And yeah, it's a nasty bugger, that one. So, but it doesn't have a cord attached, and the amount of work I've got to get done, it's a lot easier. So apparently if I put my more expensive nylon cord in it, it won't bite me like that. So I need to do that. I'm just having another drink, sorry guys. I've just noticed there's a whole heap more people that have just hopped on. I was ready to start to sign off. Can any of you, does anyone want to see anything? Does anyone want me to go over anything? Is there anything you'd like me to show you? Can you type it in and let me know if there's anything you want to see or know before I go? I know there's a whole heap of new people on. I don't know what to show you guys. Let's show this again. This is available in my D-Stash page. As soon as I've said that, everyone's dropped out again. If anyone wants to buy this, a vintage box of pearl cottons, crochet cottons, beautiful colours. There's two or three different brands. We've got Coates, Mercer Crochet, 40 weight, 20 weight, 20 weight. So we've got 3 Mercers, really good quality crochet cotton. Now, as I explained earlier, I use these for my needle books when I do the cantha stitch on the covers. I use them. I've actually been using it to do the Suffolk puffs because it's strong and sturdy, holds them together, they sit well. Let's grab a handful out. So with this vintage fabric, I've been using this cotton in these as well. And as you can see, you just stitch in here, so you're only using like that much cotton, if that, in each one. So it's really good for the Suffolk puffs or the yo-yos. This is a piece of Sanderson upholstery fabric. It's a bit thicker, so it's great to do these. Very versatile cotton. I use it, I've been using it to do these necklaces. So I use it to stitch around these to create the necklaces. All vintage fabrics, vintage, what do you call it? Velvet ribbon. I use it on those. I use it on, I just thought of something else. I use it when I didn't crochet these, but when I crochet the flowers and that, I'm using it in the, where did I put them? In the swans. Where did I put the swans? Here. So the swans that I'm trying to prepare so I can harvest them to put in the kits, they don't have bases in them. So I'm using it to try and, no, not that one, where is it? Here. I'm using it to try and crochet in a base in the bottom of the swans. This is what I'm using. So I'm just using it to crochet the bottom in to close it all up. I use these for so many things. So this particular box, as I said, I've got another 2 boxes of these that at the moment I'm keeping for myself, but I've also got a big crate full. So I've tried to go through and create a box with different colours. I've got red, it looks orange in the screen, but it's red. Beautiful red. And these are all unused. They're all brand new. Well, unused. Vintage. It's a nice red. I don't know how to explain. It looks orange on there, but it's not. It's a lovely, how can I explain what red it is? I just noticed there's a number in there, but it doesn't tell me the colour from that anyway. Then we've got this vintage Clever Country, and these are Lutnegger brand. Clever Country, Lutnegger, which I believe, it says made in China, but I thought Lutnegger was German or European. But anyway, so these ones, the Clever Country, are a pearlate. They're beautiful, soft, mercerised cotton. Again, I use them in all my stitching. That's a vintage variegated orange. This is more of a, I don't know if you'd call that orange or yellow, saffron maybe, variegated, very pretty. Oops, I pushed that a bit too far then. Try and fix that. They're beautiful cottons, guys. This is a nice lemon, nice fresh, crisp, variegated lemon. So we've got coats there, 40 weight, mercerised, Clever Country, Clever Country, Clever Country. They're all pearlate. This is another coats, mercerised, but this is a 20. Unused, lemon, beautiful. Got another coats in this beautiful, it's not mint green, I don't know what you call it, very pretty green. And again, even though that tail has fallen out, these have never been used. They're all unused, vintage. Showed you the lemon. Then we've got this lovely Clever Country variegated green. We've got another lovely Clever Country pearlate, like a baby blue. Then we've got, this is a different brand again, it's Rose, but it's still a pearlate. It's very similar quality to the Clever Country. Great, beautiful quality, soft, perlite in a, I don't think I'd call it lavender, but it's a lovely mauvey colour. That's the Westpac Rescue Helicopter, if you're wondering. Their base isn't far from here. That is a nice peachy colour in the Clever Country perlite. So again, the reason that they're different brands is because I've tried to give you a variety of colours. So there you go. If you're in the market for some beautiful vintage cottons, that is available on my Gladys and Maud Unearthed D-Stash page on Instagram. And that whole box, including the vintage box, is $40, which works out at $4 a ball, which is a bargain. They're beautiful quality, honestly. I use them all the time. And I know I keep harping on these, but I can't believe they haven't sold. These bundles of vintage, these are all 1990s. So between 1990 and 1995, most of them, the bolts were dated. They've come out of a quilting store that has since closed down. Beautiful cottons with ditzy florals. This one is not, this is a different fabric and I can't remember what it's called. It's cotton, but it's a bit textured. Beautiful fabric. This paisley is stunning. They all are. They're beautiful, beautiful fabrics. The plains are poly cotton. Some of them have 2, some of them have 3, but I haven't even charged for them. They've all been reduced. They're all less than half, or about half the price that's marked on here. So go and have a look at those on my D-Stash page. There's only 6 available. They are beautiful, beautiful fabrics, and I'm really surprised they haven't sold. I've been using them to do some Suffolk puffs. I've been using them to do some of the necklaces. I've been using them to do the little hexagon flowers to put in the kits. I've been using them for needlebook covers. This is the paisley one. Suffolk puff or a yo-yo. This, I don't think the green one's not in the pack. Where's another one that's in the pack? This one's in the bundle. Very pretty. And don't forget, those bundles of fabrics that I've reduced, they're larger than fat quarters each piece because I couldn't cut a fat quarter. Here's another one out of the bundle. They're very cute, and like I said, they're all, except for the plains, the prints are all 100% cotton, and they're all dated from 1990 to 1995. And they're just lovely vintage fabrics. Here's another one. They're actually, some of them are really soft. I haven't used it yet, I don't think. This one. This pink one is almost feels silky or powdery. I don't know how to explain it. It's very soft, that one. Here's another one from the pack. Very cute. Lovely fabrics. So go and have a look if you'd like some of those. Very versatile and drastically reduced. They've all got at least 50% off each bundle. For example, this one has, there's 11 fat quarters in it. Is that right? Does that include the polycotton? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a polycotton, so we won't count it. 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 ditzy florals, 2 polycottons in that bundle. Again, I'm not charging for the polycottons now. So this one would be what? I can't even think. 37, 36.50, and I rounded down. If it was 50 cents, I think I rounded down. So 30 something dollars, 34, 30, 35, 36 dollars for 11. I call them fat quarters, but they're all a bit larger. So what's that work out? Less than $3 something a piece. You can't go past that. And they come wrapped up with a piece of vintage lace. Very cute. That's just for me to know which one's which, because each bundle's slightly different. Might have an extra, might have a ditzy floral missing, because some of them were limited. Like, I didn't have a huge amount of some of them. Some might have 3 polycottons. There's nothing wrong with the polycottons. You can use them. They're just, because they're not cotton, and they're a little bit stiffer, a little bit more rigid. They haven't been washed though, so they've still got sizing in them. You've got to remember that as well. But because they're not 100% cotton, I've just thrown them in as a bonus now. So there we go. Lovely, lovely fabrics. And as I said, I'm a bit surprised that they haven't sold. And as I mentioned earlier, the only reason I'm pushing them is because they belong to the aged care facility. They've been sitting in their storage room for years. They haven't been able to move them. They're now desperate to get in. They need a new overlocker to help the residents. They need, I don't know what else they need. I know they've got a list of things they need. Some of the residents in this facility they're all in high care in the section that I'm helping. There's other sections, there's residential, but I'm just helping one particular section. They're all high care residents, and some of them don't have any family. So, for example, when I was working there, one fellow, let's use this fellow for an example, and I won't mention names or anything for privacy. He used to be quite a restless sleeper. I don't know why. He wasn't well, obviously. And of a morning when we'd go to get him for breakfast, his pyjamas would be torn nearly every morning. And my job was to try and patch up his pyjamas. And I've got photos around somewhere of what I did. People that had donated these fabrics, for example, I would use them to patch up his pyjamas, because that's all we had. We weren't allowed to buy pyjamas for the residents. We weren't allowed to buy clothing for them. It's one of their, I don't know what you'd call it. It's just not allowed. Even not only individually, obviously, but as a facility, it's not allowed. We're allowed to repair them. If they have family members or friends that would go and buy them new pyjamas or clothing, that was okay. But some of these people don't have any family. They don't have any friends. They don't have anyone who can buy new clothing for them. So all we can do is repair them, repair them, repair them, repair them. That's all we're allowed to do. But that means after, it's been 9, 10, 12, 13, 14 years since I've worked there, okay? They've still got the same machines, and I know the overlocker has died. They need a new overlocker. That's one of the things we're trying to raise money for, and that's the reason I'm pushing these fabrics and these items to sell, okay? Some of them, you'll notice on my D-Stash page, some of them will say in the description that a percentage will go to the facility. Some of them don't say that. So the ones that don't say that, they're not from the facility. They haven't come out of there. But I'm still donating from my personal resale. I'm still donating money, okay, at the moment. That might not continue because I've still got to pay my bills. But at the moment, I'm still donating, even if it doesn't say it, I'm still donating some money from what I sell, okay? So while I'm thinking of it, I want to thank those of you who have purchased from me since I've been doing the stuff for the facility. Thank you so much for your kindness and generosity. I really appreciate it. I really do. I think I've got a real soft spot for these people. I don't work there anymore. I haven't for quite a few years, as I mentioned, but I still go up there when I can. I take my dog up there as, I suppose, as a therapy dog. She's not a registered therapy dog, but she goes up and she goes and meets with the residents, and they love it, and I love it, and it can be extremely emotional and so rewarding, and I can't believe how her behavior changes with those people. She adjusts her behavior to every individual, and it's mind-blowing. I still can't fathom how she communicates with each individual. Last time we went there a few weeks ago, oh bum, I've lost one of my earrings. I just realised, sorry, one of my favourite ones. When we were up there a couple of weeks ago, there was one man, him and his wife were both in the same room. They were allowed to reside together in this one room in the high care. He's quite unwell. Obviously she must be unwell too, or I wouldn't imagine she'd be allowed to stay there otherwise, but the lady can get up and walk around and communicate, but he was quite bedbound, and when we went in he was asleep, and his wife said, oh, I'm so disappointed he's not awake to see the dog. He hadn't seen her before. So the staff member that was with me asked if she should wake him up, and the wife said, yes, please do. So we sat him up, and the wife said, look what's here. I'd like you to meet the dog. Her name's Willow, you know. And he couldn't, we had to lift the back of his bed up, you know, to sit him up. He wasn't able to sit up on his own. And it took him a while, I think, for him not just to wake up, but for his eyes to adjust to what was going on. And when he saw her, his whole face changed, and he had tears in his eyes, and you could see he was talking, and he just kept saying, I can't see her. Can you get her closer? And I said to her, go and say hello, Willow. And she walked up, because she's a Great Dane, she's a big dog. And if she can't reach them, they lower the bed for her. And he had his hands under the covers, but he was trying to touch her. And she just walked up and very gently just rested her head on his hands. And he started crying, and I started crying, and his wife started crying. And it's just beautiful, you know. I love doing it. But like I said, some of these people need a bit of extra support, and if that means, I know it's more than just the overlooker. As I keep saying, I can't remember what else was on the list. There's tools, there's aids, I guess, that they're trying to raise funds for, even to take them out of the facility to go to the zoo. There's a zoo not far from the facility, so they can take them there. But it all costs money, you know. So if we can help get a little bit of money to help them get a little bit further and what they need, you know, that's what I'm trying to do, and that's why I'm pushing these fabrics and laces so much. That's another thing I was going to say. I've been trying to sell the laces. They haven't been going. There's not really any interest in them. I've been looking around online to see how other people are packaging them up to sell. And the most common thing at the moment seems to be packs of different vintage laces, but just small amounts, like a sampler. And it appears to be that most people are buying them for the pinch pots or the needle books or something like that. So I'm thinking I might put together a couple of little packs of sampler lace to see if anyone's interested in that. So if that's something that might interest you, please let me know. I've tried, as you probably know, if you're a regular, you've probably seen I've tried a few ways to move the lace, and I've got a couple of cartons of lace here, vintage lace. Most of what I'm trying to move is from the 90s. Some of it's a little bit older. And that's just a small amount. There's still in the storage room at the facility, there's still at least another 4 or 5 crates full of lace that I can bring down for you guys. Most of it, I didn't bring it though because most of it is nylon. And I didn't think any of you would be interested in that. But if anyone's interested in nylon lace, there's crates of it up there I can bring down. I don't know what else to say. I think I've shown you everything I can today. Again, I was hoping to be a bit further along by now. I was hoping to have the online group set up by now. I was hoping to have more kits available, and I was hoping to have uploaded more. I haven't got to I know I keep saying I'm going to upload more stuff to the D-Stash. I haven't got to any of the embroidered linens or anything like that yet. There's still stuff to come. I've started with the stuff that I like the least, if that makes sense. It's a bit like, I don't know about you, but I've done it for years, ever since I was a kid. You get served a meal, and I always leave my favourite foods to last. I don't know why, because by the time I get halfway through, I'm full and I can't fit them in. But in my mind, I've always thought, if I leave my favourite foods, so I'll give you an example, and this isn't what I eat these days, but if I was served, I don't know, a bit of casserole, some mashed potato, some green beans, some carrot and some corn, I'd probably eat the casserole because that's my least favourite. And then I'd probably leave the mashed potato till last because that's usually my favourite sort of food. Used to be. Again, I don't eat like that anymore. So I'd go and eat my least favourite first and then work my way around to my favourite food on the plate. And that's what I seem to be doing with these textiles. I'm uploading my least favourite ones first, not including the stuff from the facility. I've uploaded everything from there so far, I think. But from my personal stash, I think I'm doing my least favourite stuff first. So there's still stuff to come. It takes a lot of time. I've got to soak it, wash it, press it, starch it, photograph it, upload it, put in the explanation. Anyone that does it regularly would understand. I just realised I've squished I've got a plant beside me that's getting quite big. I think it needs to go in the ground. And I've just squished a couple of the leaves while I'm talking. It's I'll break one off to show you, because I had never seen it before. I think I've shown you before, but there's all sorts of little things living on it. Let's get one here. Oh, and it's not. I just snapped the whole top off, which I didn't mean to do. I'll have to try and root that now. So this is a leaf from it. It's not showing very well, is it? It's a beautiful, deep... When the sun gets behind it, the leaves actually look green with these striking, deep red veins. But it's a pomegranate hibiscus. And as I said, I've never seen one before. My neighbour gave it to me. I love it. You can eat the leaves. You can put them in salads. And they taste like... They actually taste like pomegranate. They're tart. They're really cool. And it flowers, and you can eat the flowers. But my neighbour gave me a small one. I think it was just before Christmas. And I put some of my compost in it, and it's gone nuts. It's taken off. Apparently you can grow it from a cut-in. It grows where the flowers die. You're left with these pods, which remind me of the rosella flowers. You know, the ones that you can put in your buy-in syrup, and you can put them in your alcoholic beverages. So this is where the flowers died off, and it leaves these pods, and they're full of seeds. This is a bit of a small one. There's not much in it. There we go. There's a seed. So you can grow them from the seed, and you can grow them from a cut-in, and they're really cool. I think it's going to have to go in the ground because it's getting quite big. It comes up to about my chin now, and when I got it at Christmas, it was about to my knees, so it's growing quite rapidly. But I think I probably should sign off. It's 6 p.m. here. I'm losing the light. It should stay light till about 8 p.m. But it's getting dark. I probably should go and put some dinner on. Not that I'm hungry. I haven't been eating. And I need to pack up all this stuff out here. I've got a lot of stuff out here today. As I said, I don't know what else to say except thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for those of you, the last few times I've done these videos and mentioned the stuff on my Instagram de-stash and the stuff for the facility, some of you have just gone straight over and purchased, and I'm so grateful to you guys for doing that. Thank you so much. Another thing I wanted to mention, the last video, I nearly forgot this, I was talking about how a few people have been talking about slow stitching recently, and I said, I watched one and I don't agree with anything they've said, and it's not cool, and that's not what it means to me, and that's okay. Everyone has different understandings of what it means and what it means to them. But after I spoke about that, I found a YouTube one. I've only watched most of the first video, and this lady has a whole series, but so far everything she's saying really resonates with me, and it's pretty much what I believe in as well, and that's Dottie B Vintage. And I'm really enjoying her YouTube. I've seen her, you guys talk about her. I've seen her videos come up online, but it's the first time I've actually stopped and made the time to try and watch her videos, and so far I'm really impressed. Like I said, I've just watched most of the first one that she's done on slow stitch. Is it slow stitch? Okay, I've got slow stitch meditation stuck in my head, but I think it's just slow stitch. And I'm really impressed with what she's done. Even just in the beginning of this video, she had a hand-worked doily, I suppose, and she had embroidered around it what it means to her. And I think I agreed with nearly everything on there, and I was just so impressed that she went to the effort to hand embroider all those words. But then she brought out another one that she'd done, and I'm like, wow, that was really cool. So I'll try and list her YouTube in here as well. What else was I going to list? I'm going to have to watch my video again to remember what I told you I was going to list, because I can't remember. Crikey, that's dreadful, isn't it? It's been a week. It's been a month. It's been a year even, crikey. No, I can't remember, sorry. I'm going to have to watch the video again. I should write it down as I go, shouldn't I? I should have a notepad here and write down what I say I'm going to add. I'm just thinking, I'd forgotten until now that I've got a package that I received from a company who's asked me to do, what would you call it? They've given me the products to do some videos for them, to represent them, like an affiliate, I suppose. And I haven't done it yet. I have to get that done. It all has to be submitted by June, I think. So I just remembered I have to get that done as well. Anyway, I can't tell you what it is yet until it's released, but it's exciting. And I've been to their page, their Instagram, and there's a real common theme of what everyone uses the products for. And I want to try and do something out of the box. I think I've mentioned that before. I've got a bit of an idea, but I haven't quite worked out how to pull it together yet. Yeah, anyway, that's it, guys. I just clapped my hands. Sorry, that's what that big noise was. I've been prattling on again for over 2 hours. Yeah, just thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the facility. Thank you for just thanks. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you could. That would be great. I'm going to try and work on that, getting that sewing group pulled together. And again, I apologise it's taking so long. There's just been quite a few things, a lot of things that have been thrown at me that I hadn't suspected. For example, I hadn't mentioned this. Last week my son had 2 car accidents. I think I've shown you this before. It's hanging here at my door. It's glass. This is what I used to do. I used to teach this, how to do fused glass art, warm glass. This one was a bit lightly fused, but I really like it. Little owl that hangs at my door. I've got all sorts of glass stained. I wasn't great at stained glass and Tiffany. Oh, Tiffany, my goodness. I needed a lot more practice with that. But I was good with the warm glass. I actually bought a kiln. I should get back into that. Oh, goodness me. There's just too much. There's just so much I want to do, guys. Who else is like that? Who else wants to do all the things? I've been like this for years. Anyway, I need to go. I'm just prattling now. Thank you again so very much for being here. If you haven't subscribed already, I would be so grateful if you would. Again, I think I've said it nearly every video. Hopefully next time I'll have a tutorial, something of value that I can share with you. I'm hoping to get that group up and running. Again, I'm trying really hard to keep it all free. If you would like to contribute, I'm going to set something up so you can just make a donation if you'd like to. There's something else I wanted to say and it slipped my mind again. Oh, the names for the group. I'm going to list some. I'll try and do it tonight, but hopefully I don't fall asleep like I have been. I'm going to try and list some ideas for the name for the group. The reason I'm doing this is with Discord, I have to name the group before we can get started. And I didn't want to just throw some stupid willy-nilly thing in there for the sake of it. So, as I mentioned in the last video, my daughter and I brainstormed some names. I've got a huge list. We've cut it back to about 50. I'm going to list all them on my Instagram, which is Gladys and Maud. GladysAndMaude. The same as this account, Gladys and Maud. I'm going to list all the names up there. I think I'll just write them on the carousel and you can vote on whether you like any of them or you can comment and give me suggestions for something else, okay? I'll try and do that tonight. I'll leave that active for probably... I need to give everyone a chance to be able to see that, so I think maybe a week might be fair. By the time people see this video and see the post, I don't know. Again, I don't want to drag it out too long because I want to get the group happening. But we'll see. I'll upload it, see what happens. I'd love it if you'd go over there and comment. Give me some ideas. Vote on which name you like or throw some at me. Let's try and get this happening so we can all meet together. Hopefully weekly. At first I didn't think that would be unachievable, but with everything that's been happening here lately, it may be. I'm struggling to get to training every week. It's only one night a week, and I haven't been for 3 weeks. So let's see how we go, hey? Okay, I'm going to go, guys. Thank you again. I hope you're well. Be safe, be kind, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Thank you so much.